Hello everyone, back to the second part of the second winter 2020 update. So we did part one yesterday, looking at things like sea surface temperature anomalies, solar activity, Arctic size extent, etc, etc, etc. This is for the analogues. We're going to be looking at England and Wales rainfall for both August and also the summer in this video. So sit back, relax and enjoy, and I'll talk you through our analogues for this second winter 2020 update very shortly. It's going to be quite a long video as always. Got 68 tabs here, so it's going to take us a while to get through all of these. So, as always, with long-range stuff, it's going to be placed on the winter updates page with a written summary going over everything that we discussed in video, and I'll get that up for you tonight. We'll have a look at that tonight. You'll be able to watch the video on demand and also have a read of a written summary tonight. Excuse me. I'm going to say a big thank you. Big thank you to my good friends Richard Trott, Terry Scully, and also to Shrine Bruin for helping out on this update. Thank you to all three of you. It's amazing. It's incredible. Thank you so much for your help. Thank you to Richard for the wonderful winter updates gift, and thank you to Terry and also for Shrine. And I'll tell you where they have helped as we get through it. But it's going to be a 10 to 14 day video upload later on as well. So it's a busy old day at GavsWeatherVids today. Please give us a like on all of the videos and let us know in the comments what you think. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Right, without further ado, I'm going to get on with part two of the second winter 2020-21 update. So we're looking at England and Wales rainfall, England and Wales precipitation. So this is a rainfall index that goes all the way back to the 1700s. This is at UK Met Office, first year 1766. So we're dealing with August first of all. Then we'll deal with summer in the second part of the video. So yes, August 2020 came out with an England and Wales precipitation of 125.2 millimeters. August England and Wales rainfall, and so the range that we're looking at is going to be winters following August, with an England and Wales rainfall range of 115 to 140 millimeters. Thank you so much to Terry Scully for sorting out these years for me. Terry has really helped with these August rainfall years, so thank you so much to Terry for sorting these out for me. So let's get on with it. Got a lot to get through. So the first winter is going to be winter of 1848-1849, again following England and Wales August precipitation range of 115 to 140 millimeters. This one is a mild winter with high pressure to the south and low pressure to the northwest. Winds are in from a southwesterly direction. That's a mild but also quite dry winter to start us off. Our next winter is going to be 1852-1853. This is a wet winter with low pressure centered over the top of the country. Very wet winter for that one. 1865-1866 shows up next with low pressure out to the northwest, high pressure to our south, winds in from a southwesterly direction. By the way, with this update, so I'm doing this at nearly 11 o'clock in the evening on Sunday. I did the first part of the second winter update last night on Saturday night, so I had quite a latish night then. I've been live streaming as well for an hour and 10 minutes, so I am very tired, so I may make some mistakes. Please please bear with me, and if I start start going off on a tangent and whatnot, then yeah, just please bear with me. Our next winter is going to be 1877-1878 with high pressure to our west. Winds are coming in from like a northwesterly type direction. So a dry winter with that one again for 1877-1878, and quite mild too. The next winter is 1897-1898. This with high pressure to our south and low pressure to the north. Winds are in from more of a westerly direction with that one. Again, another quite mild winter, quite mild for 1897-1898. Relatively dry in the south. The next winter is 1903-1904 with low pressure in across the west of Europe. A wet winter, this one. Very, very wet winter for 1903-1904. Then we have 1926 1927, 1928. This was also quite a mild and wet winter with winds in from the west. But it does have a cold December, so the blocking up towards Scandinavia does sort of give the game away to some degree. It does have a cold easterly December, but once the cold goes, you know, after Christmas, there's a classic white Christmas in 1927 as well, proper blizzard. But once that goes, we are then into a mild and wet winter for the rest of it, really. Then we have 1931, 1932, which has high pressure centred right over top of the country. So that's quite a dry and also quite chilly winter in 1932. 1941, 1942 shows up next, following this England and Wales precipitation range of 115 to 140 millimetres in August. This one with high pressure out to our north and northwest, low pressure is to our south, winds are in from an easterly direction. That's quite a cold winter in 1942. 1946, 1947 is like the daddy of cold winters, or one of the daddies of cold winters, probably the daddy of snowy winters, actually. It doesn't really kick off until like the 20th of January, but once it gets going, it really does get going, with low pressure to our south, high pressure to the north, winds are in from the east. That's a very cold and very snowy winter in 1947. It does show up in our analogues package this week. We move on, so we go to 1948, 1949. This is a mild and dry winter, dry mild winter with high pressure over to the south of the country. Winds are in from a west or southwesterly direction. Then we have 1950, 1951. This is a very unsettled winter, has a cold December, cold and snowy December. The rest of it is quite unsettled with low pressure again in over the top of the country. 1951, 1952 shows up next. Low pressure to the east, high pressure to the west. Winds are in from a northerly direction in that winter. 1954, 1955 is a cold winter with low pressure across northern Western Europe. High pressure south of Greenland. Winds are in from an east to northeasterly direction. That is a cold winter for 1954, 1955. Quite a long gap then through to 1986, 1987. This is a very cold winter, particularly in January. It has a freeze up in January. Otherwise, December 86 is quite mild, but it is a cold average winter, primarily due to what happens with the freeze up in January. Winds are in from the east. 92, 93 is our next winter, with high pressure again over to the south of the country, low pressure to the north. Winds in from a westerly direction. That's a dry and very mild winter. 1999, 2000 has low pressure to the north. High pressure is out to west. Winds are in from a westerly direction. An unsettled and mild winter to take us into the millennium. And then we have 2008, 2009, which is the first of a run of colder winters from 08, 09 to 12, 13. This with high pressure to the north, low pressure to the south, winds in from the east. That's quite a cold winter for 2008, 2009. And then finally, we've got 2014, 2015, low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south, winds are in from a westerly direction. A bit of a forgettable winter. It's not excessively mild, and it's near average for temperature. Very little in the way of particularly cold weather, though. Very forgettable winter for 2014-15. Putting all of that together, this is how all Decembers combined are looking, following England and Wales precipitation range of 115 to 140 millimetres. Mild and westerly for these Decembers, with low pressure to the northwest, high pressure to the southwest. Winds are in from a westerly direction. So a mild and wet December is favoured. All Januaries combined, looking like this, following August with England and Wales precipitation range of 115, 140 millimetres. Again, westerly, low pressure to the northwest, high pressure to west, southwest, winds in from west to from a westerly direction. So yes, another westerly January is favoured there. And this is how all Februaries combined are looking. So colder then, or slightly colder still anyway, but average heights elongating through the north and the west of Europe. High pressure up towards Greenland, winds in from a north to northeasterly direction. Quite a cool and wintry signal for February. All Marches combined increases the blocking signal, so a little bit backloaded with the cold signal for these winters. Lower pressure to the south, higher pressure to the north, winds in from the east. As we're getting towards the back end of the winter, the cold potential is increasing, and all winters combined, following an August England Wales precipitation range of 115 to 140 millimetres, looks like that. Generally mild and unsettled, with low pressure across the north and west of Europe. But having said that, there is a bit of cold potential late on. Narrow things down to post-1950. This is how things are looking following August England Wales precipitation range of 115 to 140 millimetres post-1950. So all of these years are after 1950. All Decembers combined, looking very wet and westerly, winds in from the west, so that's a wet and windy signal for those Decembers. All Januaries combined, again, low pressure is over the country, slightly to the east, above average heights pulled out to the west, generally quite mild and wet for those Januaries. All Februaries combined, following an England and Wales August precipitation range of 115 to 140 millimetres, has high pressure out to the west, low pressure to the south, but it's like this is a milder signal really. It's still bringing in a wind from off the Atlantic. All Marches combined, anticyclonic and mild, high pressure over country winds in from the east. Obviously there are exceptions, but it's got 87 in the analogs package, which is a colder winter, but averaging it out, this is a milder signal for these winter months. And all winters combined, following August England and Wales precipitation range of 115 to 140 millimetres post 1950, looks like that. So unsettled, low pressure to the west. Whoops, let's get rid of that and do it again. So unsettled with low pressure to the west, high pressure to the east, high pressure just to the west. So it's a mildish signal. There could be some coldish type snaps, but generally this is quite a mild signal really for these winters. Okay, so that's it for this first part of the video. So I'm going to pause the video there, and when we return, we will have a look at summer data. So I'm going to pause the video there, and we'll see you back very, very shortly. Get yourself a cup of tea and a few nibbles, and we'll be back soon. Okay, we're back, and we are ready to resume the second part of the second winter 2020-21 update. Hello, thank you so much everybody for tuning in to this video. So in the first part of the video, we was looking at August England and Wales rainfall with a specific range of, let's get this right, 115 to 140 millimetres, and winters that followed those August. Now we're going to look at summer England and Wales rainfall. If you're enjoying this update, then please can you give us a like on the video, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids, and that would be absolutely great if you can do that. So let's go back to the England and Wales rainfall range, rainfall page I should say, at the UK Met, and let's see where we are then. So for the summer of 2020, we have June coming out with 98.0 millimetres of rain, July at 69.2 millimetres of rainfall, and August at 125.2 millimetres. And so that brings us out with an England and Wales rainfall total of for the 3 months of the summer of 2020 94.4 millimetres. So it means that our range for this section of analogues is going to be winters following summers, with an England and Wales rainfall range of 92 to 102 millimetres, 92 to 102 millimetres, placing summer 2020 right in the middle of that range. Thank you so much to Shryan Bruin for sorting this out for me. So first up, we've got winter of 1953-1954, and this one has below average heights to our south and east, above average heights to our north and northwest. This is a rather cooler winter, with winds in from an easterly direction, following that summer England and Wales precipitation range of 92 to 102 millimetres. Next up, we have 1872-1873, with below average heights again across the north and the west of Europe. It looks like a wet and mild winter, that one, in 1872-1873. Then we have 1877-1878, with above average heights to our west, dry and mild for the winter of 1877-1878. Next up, we have 1880, 1881. This is a very cold winter, particularly so in January, with a severely cold and snowy January, blocking over Greenland, low pressure to our south, winds in from the east. That's a cold and snowy winter in 1880, 1881. 1881, 1882, looks like that. Low pressure is away to the north, high pressure is over and to the east of the country. A dry and a mild winter there, with winds coming up from a southerly direction, dry and mild. Then we have 1882, 1883, with again low pressure out to our west, winds in from a westerly direction. That's a mild and wet winter in 1882, 1883. Then we have 1891, 1892, again following a summer England and Wales precipitation range of 92 to 102 millimeters. This one is unsettled. Low pressure, let's change the colour. Low pressure is over the top of the country. High pressure is away to the northwest. Winds are in from a northerly direction. So that's quite a wet and potentially quite coolish sort of winter for that one. Then we have 1917, 1918. So quite a big gap actually. 1917 to 1918 showing up next with high pressure through the country. That's quite a mildish sort of winter, and it's certainly milder than the winter that preceded it. 1916, 1917. 1924, 1925 with low pressure to our west, winds in from a west to south west direction. Very wet and mild in that winter. Look at this, we've got 1946, 1947 showing up again. How interesting. It was there in the first analogues package for the August rainfall. It's here again in the second analogues package for summer England and Wales rainfall. This one with high pressure blocking to the north and low pressure to the south. Winds are in from an easterly direction. Yeah, winds are in from an easterly direction, looking cold and very snowy in the winter of 1947. It's the daddy of snowy winters, but it is also a very, very cold winter as well. 1954, 1955 was also in the earlier analogues package. Here it is again. This is another colder winter. Again, winds are in from an east to northeasterly direction with that one. 1960, 1961 is generally quite a mildish winter with low pressure coming in from off the Atlantic, one of the milder winters of the 1960s. 1980, 1981 has a few cold stats, so it's not remembered as a particularly cold winter. Low pressure to the east, high pressure to the west. I think it does have quite a coldish January, but it's not really remembered as a particularly cold winter. 85, 86 is our next winter. Again, following summer England Wales rainfall range of 92 to 102 millimeters. This with low pressure to our south, high pressure is up to the north. Winds are in from an easterly direction with that one. Potentially cold and wintry. 97, 98. It has a very cold February in 86, by the way. 97, 98 is a very dry and mild winter. Winds are pushing up from the south in 97, 98. 2004, 2005 has high pressure to the west. Winds coming in from a westerly direction with that. When it gets cold late on, at the end of February into early March 2005, there is quite a potent cold spell. 08, 09 has low pressure to the south, high pressure to the north. Winds are in from an easterly direction. That's the first of the run of cold winters from 0809 to 2012, 2013, and then 2017, 2018 shows up next. Of course, this has the beast from the east with low pressure to our east, high pressure to the west. That's the beast from the east winter. Putting it all together, this is how all Decembers combined are looking following England and Wales rainfall range of 92 to 102 millimeters. Generally westerly and quite mild for these Decembers. These Decembers still favoured to be generally westerly and quite mild. All Januaries combined with low pressure to the south, high pressure to the north, so generally quite unsettled for these Januaries too. All Februaries combined takes the low pressure further south and sets up the high pressure towards Greenland. Winds are in from the east, so these Februaries could be cold, or they could even be very cold. All Marches combined looking like that. Low pressure to the south, high pressure to the northwest. These Marches could also favour cold weather. Interesting, both sets of analogues favouring colder later, seemingly. And all winters combined looking a little bit more encouraging from a cold perspective compared to the earlier analogues packages. The low pressure tends to be more centred to our south, so we could be bringing something a bit colder from like the east and from the northeast as well. Narrowing things down to the years post-1950, this is how things are looking. So all Decembers combined post-1950 with low pressure to our north and to our east, high pressure out to the west, generally quite cool and unsettled with these Decembers. All Januaries combined has low pressure to our east, high pressure is out to our north and northwest, winds tending to be coming in from an east to northeasterly direction. All Februaries combined with high pressure to our north, low pressure to our south. Again, remember these are post-1950, winds in from an easterly direction, so yes, favouring a colder outcome for these Februaries. And all Marches combined has high pressure to the northwest, low pressure to the southwest and south, and winds could be in from an easterly direction. Finally, all winters combined with a England Wales precipitation range of 92 to 102 millimetres post-1950 with low pressure to our east, high pressure is away to the northwest, and winds again tend to be coming in more from an east to northeasterly direction. So this looks a little bit more encouraging. The summer data looks a little bit more encouraging, I think, for a colder winter compared to like the August data. There is overlap as well. So the last thing I'm going to show you is the years that overlap in both sets of analogues. I've been following this, so you know what the overlap years are going to be. These are the overlap years for both August rainfall and also for summer rainfall. It's 1877, it's 1946, it's 1954, it's 2008. So it's the winters of 1877, 1878, 1946, 1947, 1954, 1955, and 2008, 2009. This is how all Decembers combined are looking with our England Wales precipitation overlap years, with high pressure to the west, low pressure to the northwest, winds in from a westerly direction, Atlantic driven for those Decembers. All Januaries combined, increasing the blocking signal to the north with lower pressure to the south, winds tending to be more from an easterly direction with those Januaries, so cold and wintry for the Januaries. All Februaries combined, again, look at this, increasing the northern blocking signal up towards Greenland with low pressure to our south, winds again coming in from an easterly direction for these Februaries. All Marches combined, again, low pressure to our east and also to our south, high pressure way to the northwest, winds tending to be coming in from an east or northeasterly direction with these Marches. So definitely the overlap years have a bit of a cold signal, really. They definitely look more encouraging from a cold perspective. And look at this, in terms of the overall winter combined chart, analogue, I suppose, for both summer and also for August, England and Wales precipitation, low pressure to the south, blocking up to the north. We end, if you want a colder winter, we end on a little bit of an encouraging note there in terms of our overlap years appearing in both sets of England and Wales rainfall data for August and also for summer. Just say, but if you enjoyed this video, then please can you give us a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids, and also let us know in the comments what you think. It would be absolutely great if everybody can do that. Right, so 22 minutes there to get through, what was that, 68 tabs. I think that's pretty good going to do that in under 25 minutes. So that's probably the fastest I've ever rattled through so many tabs. Thank you so much, everybody, for enjoying this second Winter 2020-21 update part 2. I hope you enjoyed part 1 as well yesterday, and yes, so this video is going to be placed on Winter Updates page. This scene will be a written summary going over everything that we discussed in video, and I'll get that up for you this evening. And we have a 10 to 14 day video update coming up later on today, and we'll be back next weekend, of course, Sunday and Monday, same idea. The third Winter 2020-21 update will be, part 1 will be released on Sunday, and then part 2 for the third Winter update will be released next Monday, same time, same place. We'll see you later on, though, for a 10 to 14 day video update for this video. That's all for now, and thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.